Welcome to Nighttime Bible Reading for Beginners, where beginners come together and read the Bible to learn all about God's goodness. And man, I'm telling you, I'm so happy to have y'all. And man, I'm just excited to get it started. I mean, we've been going hard so far this week, and man, it's just amazing. Cause I mean, I consider myself a leader, and I'm sure if you're tuned in, you consider yourself a leader, and leaders are readers. So we got to continue to read, and what better thing to read than the Bible itself, because you can learn the most from the best book in the world in history. History, period. It ain't no book better than the Bible. And I stand on that, you know what I'm saying? But first and foremost, before anything else, let's get the first order of business out the way. Make sure that you go like, share, and subscribe to the Proc Day Left Day YouTube channel, where you can keep up with all new updates, videos, shorts, any content whatsoever. Make sure you go subscribe to Proc Day Left Day. Also, if you want to purchase some Proc Day Left Day merch to help support the channel so we can keep this content going, go to procdayleftday.com and you can definitely get you some fresh gear. But just to give you a rundown again, for those that are brand new, I don't care how you stumbled up on this site, we are exceedingly excited to have you, because it don't matter your age, it don't matter your gender, it don't matter your income status, how much money you make. It don't matter, man. It don't matter if excelled or you're a beginner, man. We just here to just read and learn together, because the more we read, we gonna automatically learn. So that's what we trying to that's what we trying to promote over here. And I want to make it where it's common to read. Like, let's read the Bible. Like, we read everything else. We scroll up and down on social media, we watch TV, we do all other different type of activities. But why can't it be cool to read the Bible too as well? Because this is the book that's gonna teach us everything about life. And that's why I love to read it, because I want to learn more about life, and I want to be more impactful with my life, and I want to learn more about myself. And the best way I can learn more about myself is to learn from the person who created me. And this is his book. So this the manual right here. So man, let me give you the rundown like I do every day, the first week. So what we do is we read Monday through Friday, excluding holidays, and we give two. I give 2 to 3 things that stood out to me, that I was maybe amazed me or something like that. And then I also give like 2 to 3 things that I may have questions about, that I may don't clearly understand. And this is the great thing about it, because this is what a ball is through to you, like an assist, where you can help me, or you can express your own self. You can tell the two to three things that you like, drop it down in the comment, and you can also drop down 2 to 3 things that you may have questions about, and somebody will definitely respond to you. And hopefully we gonna definitely, I ain't gonna say hopefully, sooner or later we gonna definitely have more seasoned, Bible scholars and things like that that'll come in and explain certain things that we may don't understand. But I don't want us to be intimidated just because we don't know, what we feel like we can't start where we at. You know what I'm saying? So hey man, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started, so I don't keep y'all up too late. So let me see. Yesterday we ended at the end of chapter 6 in Genesis. So today we're gonna pick up where we left off. And so we're gonna start in Genesis chapter 7. If you got your Bible, follow along, read with me, or do what you make you feel comfortable. If you just want to hear me read, that's fine. And then we're gonna reflect back. Genesis chapter 7. The flood covers the earth. When everything was ready, the Lord said to Noah, "Go into the boat with all your family, or among all the people, for among all the people of the earth I can see that you alone are righteous. Take with you 7 pairs, male and female, of each animal I have approved for eating and for sacrifice, and take 1 pair of each of the others. Also take 7 pairs of every kind of bird. There must be a male and a female in each pair, to ensure that all life will survive on the earth after the flood. 7 days from now, I will make the rains pour down on the earth, and it will rain for 40 days and 40 nights, until I have wiped from the earth all the living things I have created." So Noah did everything as the Lord commanded. Noah was 600 years old when the flood covered the earth. He went on board. He went on board the boat to escape the flood. He and his wife and his sons and their wives. With them were all the various kinds of animals, those approved for eating and for sacrifice, and those that were not, along with all the birds and the small animals that scurry along the ground. They entered the boat in pairs, male and female, just as God had commanded Noah. After 7 days, the waters of the flood came and covered the earth. When Noah was 600 years old, on the 17th day of the second month, all the underground waters erupted from the earth, and the rain fell in the mighty torrents from the sky. The rain continued to fall for 40 days and 40 nights. That very day, Noah had gone into the boat with his wife and his sons, Shem, Ham, and Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat and their wives. With them in the boat were pairs of every kind of animal, domestic and wild, large and small, along with birds of every kind. Two by two they came into the boat, representing every living thing that breathes. A male and female of each kind entered, just as God had commanded Noah. Then the Lord closed the door behind them. For 40 days the flood waters grew deeper, covering the ground and lifting the boat high above the earth. As the waters rose higher and higher above the ground, the boat floated safely on the surface. Finally, the water covered even the highest mountains on the earth, um, rising more than 20 feet above the highest peaks. All the living things on earth died: birds, domestic animals, wild animals, small animals that scurry along the ground, and all the people. Everything that breathed and lived on dry land died. God wiped out every living thing on the earth: people, livestock, small animals, and scurry along the ground, and the birds of the sky. All were destroyed. The only people who survived were Noah and those with him in the boat, and the flood waters covered the earth for 150 days. All right, chapter 8. The flood recedes. But God remembered Noah and all the wild animals and livestock with him in the boat. He sent a wind to blow across the earth, and the flood waters began to recede. The underground waters stopped flowing, and the torrential rains from the sky were stopped. So the flood waters gradually receded from the earth. After 150 days, exactly 5 months from the time the flood began, the boat came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. Ararat. 2.5 months later, as the waters continued to go down, other mountain peaks became visible. After another 40 days, Noah opened the window he had made in the boat and released a raven. The bird flew back and forth until the flood waters on the earth had dried up. He also released a dove to see if the water had receded and it could find dry ground. But the dove couldn't find no place to land because the water still covered the ground. So it returned to the boat. And Noah held out his hand and drew the dove back inside. After waiting another 7 days, Noah released the dove again. This time the dove returned to him in the evening with a fresh olive leaf in its beak. Then Noah knew that the flood waters were almost gone. He waited another 7 days and then released the dove again. This time it did not come back. Noah was now 601 years old. On the first day of the new year, 10.5 months after the flood began, the flood waters had almost dried up from the earth. Noah lifted back the covering of the boat and saw that the surface of the ground was drying. 2 more months went by, and at last the earth was dry. Then God said to Noah, "Leave the boat, all of you, you and your wife, and your sons and their wives. Release all the animals, the birds, the livestock, and the small animals. that scurry along the ground, so they can be fruitful and multiply throughout the earth. So Noah, his wife, and his sons and their wives left the boat, and all of the large and small animals and birds came out of the boat, pair by pair. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and there he sacrificed as burnt offerings the animals and birds that had been approved for that purpose. And the Lord was pleased with the aroma of the sacrifice and said to himself, I will never again curse the ground because of the human race, even though everything they think or imagine is bent toward evil from childhood. I will never again destroy all living things. As long as the earth remains, there will be planting and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night. Okay, squad. Okay, night squad. Man, like every day, man. I'm talking about like every night. It's always a lot going on in this book. I'm talking about it's very interesting. It sort of pulls you in to where you just sort of want to keep reading about the stories because it gets good, man. It get real good, man. This book, good book, tastes good. What it say? Oh, taste and see how good. Hey, man. Hey, this book get good, man. I'm telling you, man. But um, let's go ahead and get straight to it. I'm not gonna keep y'all up late. Uh, the 2 to 3 things that stood out to me today was, mm, the first thing I would say that stood out to me was when the waters were so high that it was 20 feet above the highest mountains, and just trying to imagine that, I'm like, man, that's a lot of water. I'm talking about it's no chance in nobody making it if it's that high and for that long, like 40 days, 40 nights. Like even if you had a plane or something, like it don't matter. It's not gonna even last that long. And I'm like, God had to be real upset, like for him to flood, like for him to wipe out everything, because of a flood like that, ain't nothing living. If you ain't inside that boat with Noah, man, you sorta out of luck, man. And the next thing I would say that stood out to me was uh, Noah was a smart man. Noah was a very smart man. Not even just dealing with what we read yesterday with how he built the boat and how God was a carpenter and things of that nature. But he was smart because as soon as he got off that boat and he seen what transpired, the first thing he did was built that altar, and he sacrificed those animals as burnt offerings. Like that's the utmost respect that you can do because you like, man, you could have wiped me out too, but you didn't. So, man, I got no choice but to, show you, give you nothing but the praise, and not only that, let me give you a burnt offering sacrifice. Let me show you, like, man, man, I owe you this. Like this my token of love. So Noah was very smart for doing that, and God was pleased with that aroma. So that was good. Um, Everything was really good, and then I even like how Noah was smart as well. The third thing I would say is the way that he used the animals to check and see, was it dry land? Yeah, he'll let them out. They'll come back in if they can find any dry land, or they'll stay out a little longer throughout the day. Then they'll come back in later on that evening, and then finally they won't come back in at all because they like, okay, it looked normal again. So man, that was amazing. Now some things that I would say I got questions about, or some things that I'm unsure about, I would say, um, the first one I'm gonna get straight to it is it would be when God said He will never destroy all living things. As long as the earth remains, there will be planting and harvest, cold, heat, summer and winter, day and night. I got a question about that because I mean I don't really know about that portion because what about the wrath? Like, is that gonna, when Jesus come back, is he gonna destroy everything then, or that's one question I got. You know what I'm saying? I'm not all the way sure about that. So I just want to know, like, that's like a study moment for me. If I had a question, I want to know, like, so is he gonna destroy everything when he come back on the raft, or is he just, you know, coming back to get what's his and destroy the evil? I'm not sure. So if you got the answers to it, make sure you drop them down in the comment. Let me know, and that way I can learn with you. You know what I'm saying? Another question I would say I would have would probably be, okay, y'all forgive me now, forgive me, but I do got a question. So is it? So are we all truly related? Because think about it, it's like Adam and Eve, them the first two, them the first two people on the earth, and then now it's Noah and just Noah and his family. So are all of us really related? Cause that's what I'm thinking. Like if everybody on that boat was family, and they got off of that boat and they started making more families, was everybody? Are we all truly related? You know, that's a question I got. That's sort of different, but I just want to just ask. I just want to. I want this to be a safe place where we could ask anything. You know what I'm saying? So that's a question I really want to know. Like, are we all related or something? Because we all came from Adam and Eve, but now it's like when we see this story about Noah as well, it's like we all came from Noah family too. So it's like, are we all cousins or something? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, I'm not. That's a whole nother different conversation. I just want to ask a question because that's something that I did have a question about when I was reading it, and I'm thinking like, so if they the only ones on the boat and everything else got wiped out, the only way we could have got, the only way the population could multiply is through the family. So that's a question, but anyway, like I said, man, I'm so happy that y'all stopped through again, man. Make sure y'all stop through nightly, man. They air at 10 p.m. every single night, Monday through Friday, excluding holidays, and not on weekends as well, because we let weekends be a time that you can have your personal time in your Bibles or your personal time with your families and do the things that you enjoy. And so I can do the same thing, you know what I mean? But definitely Monday through Friday. We read at 10 p.m. And this is where, nighttime Bible reading for beginners, where beginners come together and read the Bible to learn about the goodness of God. And until next time, a Proc Day Left Day, genuine love to you all.